unfortunately, I am the naughty boy because I have to speak about technique. So I have the one that probably produce stress for the dancer. What I want from you before starting the lecture, take this information not like a stress, but unfortunately like something that you have to use, that you have to understand in order to produce a better performance from the technical aspect. Of course, when you speak about the technique, you have to consider that the technique must be studied and must be produced, must be practiced in a specific way, under also the psychological aspect in a specific way. So what does it mean? Technique is based on the coordination. So to coordinate yourself, you need to apply the system that we call repetitions. More repetition you do, and better is your technique. Therefore, it's very important for you as a dancer to consider one important idea in your practice, in your training. The idea is one repetition is not enough to be perfect. And even if after one repetition you are quite good, consider that you still have to do a lot. Therefore, your mind will be completely calm. You will be very calm in that if you consider that your job is to continuously repeating the technical idea. So don't be afraid if you have done one and one is not working, because you still have a lot. So the repetition is the main secret. If you're basing your practice on this psychological aspect, technique is not so bad at the end. Okay, what is my job mainly? My job is to introduce the judging system. The judging system is based on the competition, which is the Grand Slam series. Today I give you something that normally I give to the judges, but I think it's important that also you, like competitor, you know exactly what the judges want to see in competition from the technical aspect. Today we will speak about the technical qualities, but what we speak about also is about the performance assessment standards. That is the level of evaluation of the judges. So if you know, if you understand the technical qualities, parameters, you start to understand with the performance assessment standard also the level of these technical qualities. So we have points for a certain level of technical qualities, more points for another level, etc., and so on. So, number one, what does it mean, the judging criteria? The judging criteria are the rules, I read, based on dance sport model that each WDSF adjudicator has to consider in order to evaluate each couple in standard and Latin dances. The question, very important, is, what is a dance sport model? The dance sport model is the ideal performance that the couple need to reproduce into the floor in order to get the maximum evaluation. So, we have a dance sport model. We have, as a dancer, to reach this level of quality, but that is an ideal level. The ideal level is based on these four elements. Who create the dance sport model? Number one, the adjudicator, of course. Every Sunday, every competition, the adjudicator dictate through their evaluation which is the best couple, and automatically dictate which is the model. The dancer, the one that produced the most appreciated model, are the one, of course, that are going closer to this ideal performance. The teacher, the one that prepare the couple to this ideal dance sport model, and today also scientific research. What does it mean? We need to have a feedback from the judges, from the dancer, from the teacher, but it's important to have some proof also. If I speak about swing, for example, if I speak about swing, the swing is something that the teacher have in the mind, the dancer have in the mind, that they are able to reproduce that. But how to test, how to prove that the swing that the dancer are producing is the correct one? Today there is some scientific research that allow to understand what the dancer are doing in the floor and what is, for example, an ideal swing. So, this is the judging components. When I speak about judging components, I speak about 4 elements. This is what WDSF decide like main element for competitors. So we have technical qualities, what we are going to describe today, partnering skill, movement to the music, and choreography and presentation. So technical quality is based on the coordination of the couple. So the couple need to know the knowledge regarding the technique, and they have to create through their coordination that specific knowledge. Partner skill is the ability of the couple to go together. So all the rules regarding how to manage the lead and follow, how to manage the particular shape and line and position that we produce, how to manage the change of position of the center, for example. Movement to the music is about the ability that the couple has to follow what the music gives. Can be some strictly idea, for example, the strictly timing involves 1, 2, 3, you have to follow these 3 sound, or something that is about also the interpretation, the melody, something even more advanced, okay? And then the choreography and presentation. Choreography is based on the choreography and the ability of the dancer to produce this choreography in the floor. So when we speak about the choreography, we start to speak about also the style of the couple. Some couple have a style that is suitable for that choreography. Another couple have a style that is suitable for another choreography. So the ability of the couple, or better, of the trainer, to find out which is the choreography more suitable for that couple. And also in this case, we have example. But we have to be honest, in the sports system, we have some part that is artistic part and some part that is technical part. At the moment, the technical quality and movement to the music are considered technical part. And partner skill and choreography and presentation are considered artistic part. To be honest, I consider more technical quality and partner skill technical part, and movement to the music and choreography and presentation more artistic. But however, this is the division that the WSF give, because it's like sport task, 50% technical, 50% artistic, and therefore we have this and this, which is part of the artistic part, and choreography presentation for sure is based on that. Okay, now that is the real new part. When we speak about technical quality or movement to music or whatever, we have to give an evaluation. Therefore, we have to start to stabilize. That sometimes is a little bit too much for the people that have to listen to this. But unfortunately, we must look for that today, to give the most objective system of judging. So the performance assessment standard is the new idea. Actually, is the new direction that WSF want to follow in order to create a level of judgment. So when I speak about technical quality or movement to the music, I must have, you know that in a Grand Slam system, we are not using like the judgment like in skating system. So you have evaluation. So the points are given like in ice skating. You have some couple that get 6.0, some couple that get something more, 7.0, 8.0, 9.0, 10.0. That is the maximum range. So this evaluation today must be listed. You must have an idea of what does it mean 6.0, an idea of what does it mean 8.0, 9.0, etc. For this performance assessment standard, it's important to stabilize which is the intermediate scoring. The intermediate scoring at the moment are, of course, the 6.0, which is above average, 8.0, very good, and then 10.0, which is the outstanding, the one that really produces something that is very difficult for everybody to reproduce. In the performance assessment standard system, we have also this intermediate way of evaluation. So what does it mean that? Means that they will give parameters to understand what does it mean that, and that. And they will give also parameters, and you will find out, the parameters to give the 6.5, the 7.0, the 7.5, etc. When I'm giving 6.5, means that I give something that is 20% more than 6.0. For the 7 is 50% more. For the 7.5 is 75% more, till reaching the intermediate level, which is 8. From 8 to 10, you have other intermediate point, which is 8.5, 25%, 9.0, which is 50%, and so on. So this is only a practical way to manage the level of judgment. But now we are going more deep in the detail. Exactly. The PAS is defined for each component. So you will have this level of judgment not only for, not in general, but for each of the 4 components, for technical quality, for movement to the music, partner skill, choreography, presentation. You can say now, my God, one judge need to give marks for each one of these components. No, don't worry. Like probably you heard already, each judge has to mark one component only. Therefore, it's not super complicated. They have to concentrate only, for example, in technical quality, moving to the music, and so on. However, still is not so easy, but with a quite good experience of judgment, and of course, with a deep study about it, will be also, with a good practice, not super complicated. Okay, what we are speaking today? We are speaking about technical qualities. So, what does it mean, technical qualities in the detail? Technical qualities are the abilities of the dancer to transfer weight, to move in space, to execute dance figure, to create body lines, and to achieve balance through the correct use of biomechanical coordination. As I said at the beginning, technique and coordination are very connected together. So there is an image, an ideal technical image, and through your coordination, you have to reproduce this ideal technical image. The ideal technical image is written, is based on the experience of the judges, the constant, the update of the judges, so the congresses. Today, the judges must follow congresses constantly in order to have a constant update of what does it mean, ideal modeling technique, and also, at the moment, also some technique book. The adjudicator, from the point of technical qualities, need to recognize the dancers, as I said before, that get closer as much as possible to the dance sport model. From the, attenzione, that is very important, from the coordinative aspect and also from the athletic aspect. We are speaking about sport. So, if I am very well coordinated, but I do an action which is very limited from the athletic idea, in this case, the value can be a little bit less. Imagine 2 couples. One couple is doing the walking action in the natural turning standard. The other one is doing the drive action. With the appropriate coordination, automatically the second one, pay attention, is not a couple that do the drive action with the wrong attitude. In this case, it's wrong anyway. But if the first couple is doing correct coordination, a walking action, and the other one is doing the drive, so more athletic-like attitude, automatically the second one is better. So the value for the second one, athletic aspect, is better. Pay attention that when you consider the athletic aspect, it's more easy to do the mistake. So it's more easy to fall down, it's more easy to go out of time, it's more easy to lose the balance, it's more easy to become stiff, it's more easy to create mistake. And when you create mistake, automatically, this situation will be in favor for the other one that is just walking. Okay, technical qualities are divided in sub-components. So, attention, I want to say something before continuing. This is not fixed rule. This is the first step into a new generation of judgment. So, it's something that is written, but can be for sure adapted in the future. So this is the first, we are in a pioneer situation. So we are trying to produce, we are all together, WDSF is trying to produce an idea for judging parameters, but can be in the future also readapted. However, at the moment, there is sub-components like that in the judging system, which is structure and composition, the number 1. Basic skilled action, dance action, advanced skilled action. Today I try to speak about one of that component, which is structure and composition, because are many. So what does it mean, structure and composition? The ideal body's position, so speak about the position of the body of the dancer, in order to create balance and efficiency in the dance sport coordination. So we speak about posture, we speak about position, we speak about hold, and all these things must be in the appropriate way, because without that appropriate attitude, we cannot create the appropriate coordination, dance sport coordination. If I have the position of the posture basically wrong, I cannot have the coordination correct. Or better, I can produce a stable dancing, but is not correct from the aspect of the dance sport model. Basic skilled action, which is the ideal coordination about fundamental movement. So we have some figures that are already described, not now, but since from the past. So you have some idea regarding this figure. You know that that figures are based on a specific technical aspect. Therefore, if you know that, you have to follow this specific technical aspect. And in this in this part, you can find out a lot of elements also to judge this basic figure. For example, how to do a natural turn, how to do a spin turn, etc. Dance section that are quite important because is not is something that is about the new way of dancing. So in the past, they tend to be very limited in the body action. Things like rotation, sway, extension, etc. Imagine in the past, they never consider an extension, like a coordinative idea. In the past, very past period, they consider an extension wrong. Today, the extension is something okay. The important that the extension is inside a specific coordination. If I am a lady, I want to extend from the step number 2 to the step number 3. I want to create the extension without affecting the balance, without affecting the harmony of the movement, respecting also something that is codified somewhere, okay? In this case, the extension is not wrong. The extension is an extra value because it's part of the dance section and must be considered for the final evaluation. Advanced skilled action that are ideal coordination about movement more complex than the fundamental one and with high level of difficulties. We can consider also the swing, for example, something that can be placed in this part. So if I produce a swing with a certain intensity, with a certain musicality, etc., in this moment, I speak about an advanced skilled action. Okay, now we are going into the details, speaking about structure and composition. Eccolo qua. This is, for the structure and composition, what at the moment is codified from WDSF for the judges. Sorry for the very small letter here, but I couldn't manage differently. However, I can read for you, for example, what is the performance assessment standard for the posture. When I am above average, means that I have a posture that produces an aligned body structure, so the head, the shoulder, the rib cage, the hips, and the leg and feet, in static and during movement. So I start vertical. Why vertical is good? Vertical is good because if I am vertical, I am aesthetically correct, because you imagine that these 6 points create one long line. I bring one of these points, for example, the knee backward, automatically the posture is not correct. So I'm not aligned anymore. That means that the posture has some mistake. I want also to say that, again, to refer to what the previous lecturer say, to avoid the stress, I want to tell you that there is no wrong and correct. There is the more closer to the ideal model and the less closer to the ideal model. So if I am a beginner, and in my category I am posture-wise the more closer to the ideal model like that, I can win the competition. If I am a beginner, I am like this, I dance with against the world champion, the world champion is in the correct posture, it's normal that the world champion are more closer, so get more points. But that doesn't mean that if I am like this, I am completely wrong. No, I am in a phase of learning. Phase of learning is a challenge way to think. I don't like to use that. You are wrong. I always say to the couple, listen, you are not super closer to the ideal model. You're not super close to the ideal model, so you have to adjust. This is the ideal model. This is something that you can reach. Don't worry, because you have the brain, you have your capability. And if you understand the principle, probably you can get to this point. So try to adjust the point, the weakest link, the weakest point that you have in your posture, and probably you can get closer to the ideal model. That is the idea. To speak about psychology of technique. However, for the technique, it's always difficult to be so kind. In technique, unfortunately, you have to say the truth. And when you have to say the truth, unfortunately, it's quite difficult to manage. You know, I had the wrong decision many years ago to become a technician. So I said technique is very good. Everybody likes technique. It's not true. Everybody hates technique because it's something that is too true. When I speak with the couple about technique, I speak too directly. And the couple, of course, get sometimes upset. But if you deliver that with the right idea, and that can be a good idea, closer to the ideal model, less closer to the ideal model, that is something that probably can help the couple to digest the technique better. Well, for example, speaking about center, what does it mean center? The ability of the couple to stay in contact. Close to the ideal model, less close to the ideal model, extreme less close to the ideal model. In my case, that unfortunately in this period, in the last 10 years, because I have a wonderful wife that is very good in cooking, I get less and less closer to the ideal model. I'm joking. But it's true. Pasta is still fun, especially in Italy, especially with my wife. Okay, establish a shared center between partners. So we have a center together, above average. We go forward, establish a shared center while maintaining each individual. That is something that establish a shared center while maintaining each individual center. So that what does it mean? We are going to speak now about the couple position. If I am like this, I am in close hold, even without partner. So I am in close position, even without partner. Why? Because my shoulders are over the hip, and I over the knee. And therefore, when my shoulders are over the hip, automatically I'm producing the close position, even without partner. So if I am able to feel the close position alone, and the partner do the same, we are going in a different level of center. So there is the center where we just stay together. Come here 1 second. Sorry, we didn't prepare. There is a center where we just stay together. Doesn't matter how. And there is a center where she has the sense of the position, I have the sense of the position, we just get closer. Thank you very much. This is enough. Understand the idea? So we are not looking for only the connection. We are looking for the coordination that create that connection. Also, the center is based, because we are speaking about technical quality, is based on the coordination. Establish a shared center specifically to each dancer. So we start to have also the idea of what is the center in tango, what is the center in waltz. Swing dances and tango, that is the only possibility. Change shared dance progressively during the movement. So this is also quite important. Statically, we reach this position. We know how to reach this position personally, but we have also to understand, and that was also scientifically proved, that to maintain a good connection, you must have a constant adaptation. What does it mean? I want to tell you what happened during this experiment. We take a lot of couples from different levels. We take experts in biomechanics that with a special software and special camera, they film the movement of the couple. Through particular analysis happened that more the level of the couple go up, and more the couple are doing micro movements during their performance. So level lower, no micro movement. We said flat, in Italy we said flat encephalogram. So, you know, when the heart is doing like this, the beginner, like this, okay? Higher level, micro movement. So, and this professor, they don't know nothing about dancing. They just understand that this couple is top level, this couple is low level. He said, unbelievable. What? When you watch this couple, they look still. When you watch this couple, they move everywhere. Why? And this, I said, very obvious. They create constant adaptation in order to look still. You are not still because you are still in top level. You are still because you always adapt. Micro movement, nobody see. But this micro movement, based again in the coordination, is the secret to create the center together even when you move. So that can be, of course, outstanding. You understand the idea? Huh? So, about the hold, establish a standardized hold for swing dances and tango. Okay, I don't want to read that. I continue the explanation with a slide. I will speak about the hold later. Now, regarding the center, that is the technical example. We have in the center basically 9 positions, or better, 8 positions, because this one, sorry, I said 9, but in reality are 8. This one is part of that, okay? The positions are close position. Can you come here? Sorry, I will pay you later. It's okay, I can take. Okay, so position number 1, the most simple. Right to right, close position. What does it mean? When I take position in standard, is very strange, very asymmetric. The best position is always the Latin position. I mean, the Latin is always one step ahead. Unfortunately, here there is a lot of standard people, but to be honest, I have to say, Latin, they have a lot of basic possibility. However, the most symmetric position is for sure this one, where we are facing each other with the foot like that, with the arm like that. Unfortunately, for an aesthetic historical reason, this is one position. I move a little bit to side, and the hand is like that. And that causes very, very often changes in the hold and the position, but that is another story. So, what is the first connection that we have? The first connection, which is about the close hold, is the connection where the right side of the lady is touching the right side of the man. Considering what? Very important. Four tracks, because we have 2 feet, the other 2 feet, right side to right side, 4 tracks, and that is the center position of the close position. 4 tracks cannot become 3 tracks, because otherwise we hit each other. Cannot become 4 tracks like this. At least if we are in outside position. No, stay here, we are not finished. So, the second couple position is again right to right position, but outside partner. Pay attention, because that is extremely important. When we speak about outside partner, we speak about right to right position. That means that we cannot go side by side. I can go side by side only if I create a particular interpretation. But in basic figure, it's not possible. If I do particular interpretation, but as a dancer, I should be able to show also that I'm able to create outside partner without interpretation. What does it mean? I can do a figure where I do like that, but I have also to do somehow the figure where I go outside partner correctly. If you are good dancer strategically, you should put in your choreography, so choreography presentation, you have to put in your choreography a part where you go when you produce interpretation, and the part where you produce the correct outside partner. In this way, you say to the judges, look, I do an interpretation, but I'm not always doing interpretation. I'm not doing also in feather step the interpretation. So pay attention as a dancer to strategically choose your technical idea correctly. So outside partner. What is the idea of outside partner? Right to right. The right foot is going outside from the 4 track. So we create at the end 2 track. Why 2 track? Because my right foot is going in line with the left foot. And here, left foot is going in line with the right foot. In technique, that is called CBMP. It's not something that was in the past only, it's also today, and is a position of the feet very important. If I'm not using CBMP, if I'm not respecting the right-to-right position, I'm creating a wrong outside partner position. Wrong, is, as I said before, is the wrong word, is less closer to the ideal model. Okay? Then we continue. Prominent position. What does it mean, prominent position? Prominent position means that our center is not touching the right with the right, but is touching the extreme right with nearly the center of the body of the lady, in order to create a V shape with the hip and with the feet, not with the shoulder, where the movement is going out of that V. That is the promenade. Maintaining this connection and going backward, we create the follow position. The number 4. Then, because in dancing you can produce one thing and produce something similar in the way around, if I connect with the lady like this, going out of the V, counter promenade, go inside the V, counter following. So we have, again, other position that must be respected. And also in this position, we have a lot of rules to remember that is about, that you can find, that you can consider in the performance assessment standard. Establish a shared center between partners in prominent position. So more or less, this part touch this part, more or less. 6.0. Establish shared center while maintaining each individual center. So, if I am alone, this is a promenade. If she's alone, she has to remember this is a promenade. Stay together without strong connection. We have to be able to maintain the position. So, individually, you can see, because there is not that stress, there is not that stress to stay together. So you can see that they are in balance. It's something that is about the feeling that the judges has in the eyes. And the end, be able to reproduce this static position also in movement with that particular adaptation that the body has. For example, I do a long desk. I'm like that. I rise. The hip is not disturbing. I go down. In the moment that I go down, the hip starts to disturb, because bending the knee, this hip is going a little bit out automatically. So I have to adapt a little bit in order to do not disturb the lady. This little adaptation must be not visible, absolutely not visible. Because if I do that, attenzione, and I exaggerate, distortion. If I do nothing, I go against the lady, again, this distortion. So a very small stuff, probably with a little rotation also of the hip, in order to create the beauty of the promenade without creating distortion or interfere with the lady position. You say, that is quite complicated. Stress, calm down, relax, and try to practice. So, we continue. By the way, technique, when you study the technique, practice the technique, ask information about technique constantly, become a quite interesting word. Our business is based on technique. We start to love, when we know the detail of a foot position, a foot placement, foot action, we start to love that. And if you are passionate of that, you maintain the volunteer for dancing very high. If you're not passionate, automatically the technique becomes boring. And if somebody also say, oh, the technique is very boring, somebody from outside, automatically become even more boring. Technique is your main thing. It's the number one of the judging criteria. So you have to love that. Take the technique in the positive way, and then it will be very easy to survive with that, to live with that. So survive is too much. Counter promenade, counter foley, wing position. Ooh, that is quite complicated. So attenzione. What does it mean, wing position? Wing position came from a figure called wing. One teacher that I respect very much, his name is Bill Irvin, told me, you know, the mother of the bird, when she wants to cover the children, she do like that. It's not true. It's true, doesn't matter. Sound very good. So, attenzione. I'm here. I do a step forward. I turn the shoulder with the same attitude. I create this position, left to left, which is what we call wing position. Which are the characteristics of the wing position? Again, we can consider the performance assessment standard. We have to maintain the left to left position. We are outside partner. Therefore, we are in a two line mainly, or nearly in two line. Okay, so we try to maintain, to avoid the side by side. We have to maintain the foot more closer as possible. And what is important also, but something that we describe in the hold, you cannot change the hold. You cannot do something like this. You have to maintain still the position where the head stay mostly in this direction instead of that. So the wing basically has this rule. And to become more specific on the wing, you have to base again on the idea of the performance assessment standard. So have your 6.0 for the wing, your 8.0 for the wing, and your 10.0 for the wing. You say that is very complicated. It's very complicated. Now I speak for the judges. It's very complicated, but it's more complicated for the couple to improve. So consider the improvement of the couples, consider the time that they spend to become good, start to practice as well as a judges, and then automatically we balance the situation. So right angle position, left angle position. What does it mean, right angle position? If I take position with my partner, if my partner is turning the feet 90 degrees, oh, well done, 90 degrees in relation to me, I create a connection where this hip is touching more or less this part. Again, this is typical for the same foot lunge. Again, we are in a situation where the shoulder must be mostly parallel. So she has to turn the hip 90 degrees, which is a lot, but in the same time, she has to maintain the shoulder close. Why? Because otherwise looks a little bit ugly. Because the position of the hip is like that, but the position of the shoulder must be in the other way around to look okay. Same idea for the left angle. So she turns, she arrives like this, and automatic, she has to maintain the shoulder more close as possible to me, even if she maintains this position of the feet. Okay, and that was about the position of the center. I give these 2 points to fix the attention on that. How to fix the position of the center? To fix the position of the center, you have to create a specific coordination without forcing the contact. It's never good, never good. This is something that I look a little bit, sometimes offending, but forcing the contact is something that is not in eye level. If I force the contact to create the right position, I just interfere with the partner. So this forcing the contact can give the feeling of, I feel comfortable, I feel good, but it's only an habit. Your habit to do that. So try to maintain your balance, try to feel together, because if you are together without forcing, the quality is higher. To change from one position to another, use the appropriate body action, mainly the rotation. So if I want to go from close position to promenade, what I have to do? I have to rotate the shoulder. The lady feel, oh, he's rotating the shoulder. What does it mean? Because the lady is prepared. I cannot do that with my mother, because if I do that with my mother, I stay there 3 hours, my mother just say, oh Fabio, bravo. She say that, but she did not react. My mother is a nice woman. She always loved dancing. Actually, she loved the dancing of my brother, never mind. But she's a very nice person, And as I said, to do that, of course, the dancer cannot be like her, must be prepared. So, position of promenade alone, turn the hip, turn the foot, exactly, this is a promenade. So, I'm here, we go here so the people can see. I really pay you later. So, attenzione. From this position, I turn the shoulder. One moment, too reactive, too good. Is your partner prepare you like that? It's because of your partner that you're so... You also have to pay. So, rotation of the shoulder, reaction, rotation of the foot. So, when I rotate the shoulder, I'm not working on the feet. she knows that this means this. If she don't know, of course, I can turn as much as I want, no reaction. Attenzione, we try, yeah? Rotation of the shoulder, oh, very good, excellent, and I didn't force. That is the way to produce the correct coordination. My God, congratulations, well done, well done. I knew, because you're your partner, huh? Okay. Okay, for the center position, we already explained. So that is what I said before, that was the example that I give you. Structure and composition, now we are going to speak about the hold. Am I going too far away? Okay. So, speaking about the hold, what we have to say? The hold is part of the couple position, is the final part of the couple position. When I speak about the hold, I have to consider the hand area. So, we have hands, shoulder line, and poise, that is regarding your attitude, this area, how it's working. So, about the hands, extremely important is that the hands connection looks normal as much as possible. So, how to look normal? To make you an example, in dancing, that means discipline, everything must be, that has to look clean. Unfortunately, I had in my life the experience to do the military service. Was not a very nice year because you are away from home. I like a lot my mother, as I said. So, in the military service, this is not possible. Must be like that. Everything must be clean. Every button must be closed. Huh? So, in dancing, when you take hold, consider this hand. If I am open, something like that, is considered for the hold aesthetically wrong. Why? Because we refer a lot on the discipline. So, all the holes has to be as close as possible without forcing. Again, using the appropriate coordination. So you close your hand, you create less hole as possible. You have to create this sensation that the hand is together, is one block, is one single block. From outside, you create the sense of a clean hold. Plus, must be natural. What does it mean natural? Attention, look at this hand. Natural, if I relax the hand create one little curve here, one little curve here, one little curve here. When I take the hold, these three normal curve must be reproduced. Attenzione. Attenzione. Aesthetically wrong. Again, Fabio, not aesthetically wrong. Aesthetically a little more away from the ideal model. So, because we have to show this discipline idea in standard dancing, especially, the hand position is also quite important to respect. Is that everything? No, of course you have to make a sum of everything. So you cannot just, okay, the hand is like that, 6.0. No, come on. The hand is part, that plus. You say, okay, overall 6.0. That is the reason why we have to be very fast in recognize all the detail. And what is also very important, that is for the judges again, we have to watch all the couple. 20 couple in the floor, 20 couple must be watched. It's too much. Ask the chairman, less, because I want to be objective. I want to watch all the couple, make my ranking, and say 10 pass, 5 pass, 5 not. So, this is something that is not for you, of course, that you are the couple. So what you have to ask, probably you have to say, we are too many. But don't say, we are too many because there is not enough floor for us. That is wrong. That is, you are not competitor. Senior especially, too short, too small, there is no space, we are too many. No, you have not to go to the chairman and say this. You have to say, we are too many. Therefore, the judges, they cannot evaluate us correct. It's very simple, very simple. When you ask that, automatically the chairman says, I have to pay attention. Expert couple. So automatically, We have to put only 10 couple. Why? Because the judges they must have time to evaluate them. This end. What we can do with this end? Cut. No. We cannot cut the hand. This end is the drama of the couple. Yes or no? It's the drama. The drama. Huh? Now I understand why Amleto, to be or not to be. Huh? Because of I'm joking. So this end, again, must be close. Yeah, this is the clean attitude. Huh? So all these things, you have to be very good in showing something like that. Huh? Again, you. Sorry. So attention. I want to be very light, so I do something like this. Can happen, why not? But the shape must be good. Cannot be something that looks strange, huh? So I take position because I have to be light. Huh? No. You have to create the sense that it's proportional, even if I put the finger a little bit out. By the way, the best solution, I close the hand. And that is the static part, functional part. The lady move backward, forward, to side. Yes or no? So this hand has to create a shape that is controlling the side movement and the forward and backward movement. If I stay like this, I can control only forward and backward. If I stay like this, she go away. So the idea is functional, aesthetically, more close as possible to the ideal model. If some couple are doing like this, you have, again, as a judge, to make an evaluation overall and say, okay, overall, there is the hand, the other hand, the head, the leg, the knee. So a lot of things, automatically, you make your points. But you have to watch the couple. You must watch the couple. It's our job. I try to do my best. Every competition I try, because I know that is important. To give also a feedback, like my colleague said before. The feedback is very important, not like adjudicator. The adjudicator cannot give feedback. But this mentality, bring also to the trainer, is very helpful. Thank you very much. So, what about the position of the hand in the space? This hand has to stay in a position be in between the partners. No. So more or less in this level. Plus is written, and that is quite useful, this block must stay at the highest level of the lady. Because the lady in this way can create the right poise, what we said before, it's going away. The right poise. So at the highest level is tested, also biomechanically, that is the best position to create the right poise. Otherwise, too high, too short. But my partner is too small. What we can do? Change partner. No, we cannot do that. My partner is too small. And I want to express myself at the maximum. No, my darling, you have to adapt. Nobody has to see. Sure, stay a little bit down with the leg. You can stand when you move, but you cannot stand when you rise. Why? Because otherwise, it's normal. But my girl is too small. My friend, in a very, very, very not invisible way, if I had to dance again with her, this time is the perfect example. She's a little bit too small in relation to me, so I take position. I try to adapt a little bit in order that nobody see. That is something that you have to do when you take position. It's like say to the judge, oh, look, I'm longer. No, so you go in position, nobody see. This is high quality. Couple choreography presentation. The couple, different height, looks a couple with the right proportion. So choreography presentation, high mark. A problem become an opportunity. You see? That is what you can really take from the technical quality or the judging system. Thank you very much. So today I have a great assistance. You know what? I forget where I am, and my clock is not watching, is not going correct. What time did I start? Is already 45 minutes, I went out. Nobody know. Okay. How many? 5 minutes? 5 minutes, okay, perfect. So, you understand? And what about this hand? This space on this end? So, I take position, and when I close the elbow, I do like this. So I take position, I put the arm in line, because as a man dancer, I feel that is very comfortable, but I have to dance with the cheese slices to stay in correct position. So probably you have to consider that even if it is very slim girl, but she has for sure a little bit of body, huh? So it's probably something like this. So when I close the hand, I cannot close, because if I close like that, pay attention. I speak again, less close to the ideal model. So I stay in a position that looks strong, beautiful, but at the same time can create the balance for the lady, because the lady has one important idea, has one important request. I want to feel the floor. And if you do like this, she starts not to feel the floor. If you do something where it's possible to have a good shape, but at the same time the lady can feel her left foot, automatically we are in the right idea regarding the hand position. Again, we said, is wrong? Not. Less close to the ideal model. Shoulder line. The shoulder line are that idea that the dancer has to create in order to have a constant relation. So when I speak about, I don't want to use that. These are the shoulder line, see from top. So imagine that I'm watching from this position. You see the shoulder like this. From this point, we have to be parallel a little bit like this, constantly. If we move like that, what does it mean? That probably we are doing or a distortion or a change of position, not super perfect. So shoulder line parallel means that the hand maintain the same connection. Shoulder line, lady is doing like this or man is doing like that, is called distortion. Distortion, again, in relation to the ideal model. Okay, I say the last thing regarding the poise. For the man, only the man. Look, the neck is one of the most important things for the man in standard. A neck like this has big difficulty, especially in this system at the moment. You can be very good in coordination if you have the neck like this. I have to be honest, it's very difficult to pass that around. I have a couple. Coordination, they are quite good, really. They know a lot of things. But unfortunately, the boy is like, the shoulder of the boy, physically. You know the stuff to put the clothes on. The same, like this. This is normal. This is the normal position. So you work with the physiotherapist, but still, just a little bit, but still is not perfect. Even if with a good coordination, the couple that have less experience in coordination, but that okay, pass in front. What we can do? Nothing. We can do, at the moment, we can do nothing. We try to say to the people what is the correct coordination, but that from outside looks quite important. To be honest, looks quite important. So we have not to go against this. We have to respect this. And also we have to give a price to this. So if you have a long neck, if you have this position, long neck, shoulder, the distance between here and shoulder without creating a stiffness, of course. If to do that, everything is blocked, automatically, if you are in the beginner level, it's okay. If you are higher level, it's less okay. Less close to the ideal model. So, long neck with the possibility to use my body. And another important thing, long neck that you coordinate with the position of the head. Imagine if I do a natural turn, long neck, I want to create the sway. With the sway, I have also to synchronize the head position to create that certain harmony. If I don't do that, can happen this or? Is wrong? No, again, like I said. less close to the ideal model. Well, with that, I can thank you for the attention. I hope I didn't destroy your mind too much. What I want to tell you, to everybody, technique is not so bad like it is. Technique is a very nice part of our business. Study the technique, use the technique, take a lot of lessons. If you are a teacher, if you are a retired competitor, still taking lesson in the technique. Not with me, with all the other people, because if we have a great group of teachers in WDSF, I must be honest, everybody are very good in that. It's because they know the technique, because they study a lot and they continue study. So, for your advantage, never give up the idea of the technique, even when you're retired. Thank you very much for the attention.